Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Sitting in front of me today is my little brother's 87 SS Monte Carlo clone, and we are going to be jumping into this thing today. It has a 305 V8 under the hood, and he needs a power steering pump. With that being said, I'm going to be showing you guys how we remove the pulley from the pump. He's getting a little bit of like a whistling noise. You can hear it squeak a little bit, and then when you're driving, the bearing is just shot in there. So we're going to be changing out that pump today, and I'm going to be showing you how. A little cold start for y'all. Nice. So we don't hear it right now, but like I said, that pump is real squeaky when he's driving. In the car, you hear it. I wish I took some vids of it. It's pretty bad, and I was like, man, it's time just to get that new pump. So I'll be showing you what we got going on there in a minute. So we're going to remove everything that involves this pump, the bracket. We're going to take the pulley off the pump because we have to change over the bracket to the new pump. So right here we got a 9/16 bolt that actually goes to the exhaust manifold as well. So it works as a manifold bolt as well as a bracket bolt. We don't want to lose that little spacer in between there, but that'll come out a little later. Now we got another, probably a 9/16 bolt up here, if I were to guess. So that can come off just as well. It's another bracket bolt that just holds, actually it's a nut that holds the pump in place. So we're going to spin that off. Now down on the power steering pump, we have odd enough a 14mm nut. It is one of the tensioner bolts. So something that you got to loosen to tighten or loosen up your power steering belt. And then we have one more right on the back side, right down there. And that one is another tensioner bolt. So we just pulled this one out of place from that bracket. We're going to set it down. And I don't need my extension. You can either fit a wrench on there or a ratchet with a short socket. And then this backside nut is actually a 15mm. And as I loosen that one, it just allowed us to completely move the pulley and pull the belt aside for right now. We have two lines on the back of the pump. We got a little container down there to catch our power steering fluid, because power steering fluid is going to come right out of this pump once we crack these lines. Right down here there is a hose, and right here is a threaded line. So that's a 5/8 nut on the back of there. So we're going to take our 5/8 wrench, get it up on there, and just kind of work it free. And once that's free, it's going to start leaking fluid. We'll be able to take it off by hand. And then we just have to remove these two hose clamps right down here. And the pump is completely ready to come out of the car. All it is those 4 bolts that we just removed that take it out of place. And right here on the back of the power steering pump, you can see this is where the threaded line goes, and this is where our hose connects. So we got that draining out into our container down there. We're going to lift this up in just a second and remove our 2 hose clamps holding in that hose down there. Right here on this power steering line, you'll see there's a little gasket right here. This one is fairly new, so I'm actually not going to replace it. That's been recently put on. This pump was actually already changed out, but with an old one. So now James has that brand new one to go on. It's going to make his life a lot better. All right, here we are. We're getting these clamps removed off the hose. Our power steering pump is now out of place. And actually, look at that. Something I learned right now is I actually didn't even need to remove the bracket that is our exhaust manifold bolt. So that can actually go right back in, and it would only be 3 bolts instead. So look at that. We learn as we go. We got our old pump here. We got our new pump going down right next to it. And we just want to make sure they are the same. It checks out, so we are good there. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to use a pulley puller to pull this pulley off. And actually, it'll be my first time using it as well. So we'll all get to learn together. So this is actually very, very simple. So right here, we got a little power steering pump pulley remover. So how this works is we got our little center shaft. So this bolt moves freely through this nut, obviously. Nice and smooth here, so it's just going to spin right on this center plate. So what it is this pulley needs to come off of this pump. So it's going to be a shaft like this. So our shaft sits on there. This big flat metal plate sits up against the pulley, and we get these collars. You'll see the collars are going to grab the head of this. Our center shaft, as we tighten it, is going to push down on the center of this pump, and it's literally going to force the pulley off of the pump. So we're going to take this, we're going to add it to this collar, we're going to take our other collar, get it on there. And now we actually have this little centerpiece that goes right on there to keep them in place. And as we tighten this bolt, it's going to tighten up the whole setup. So I'm going to tighten this up with both hands real fast. It's all tightened up. Everything is together. We need to have this collar on here though. But look, like we are right up against the shaft. We're grabbing the pulley. So I can pretty much sit a wrench on here, and then I'm going to put my gun up on the top of this bolt, and then we're going to tighten it up. As we tighten the shaft, it's pretty much going to extract the pulley off of the pump. We got a 13/16 wrench on the nut. We got our 5/8 on the gun. So as I tighten this, it's just gonna have to work that pulley off. I think I need a new battery. All right, there we are. Our pulley has been removed. Now, there is a trick to get the pulley onto the new pump, which I'm also going to be showing you guys in just a second. But we also have to remove this bracket and swap it over to the new pump. So I just have 3 1/2 bolts that we are going to pull off of the pump that actually hold in the bracket. And once these come out, they can just be started onto the new pump, just like so. I'm not too worried that it's a little dirty, because you won't see it behind the pulley anyway, and it's not going to cause us any problems, so nothing to worry about there. Actually, gotta swap these two. My bad, wasn't paying attention. This one's got a little bit of a spacer, so now I can send these on. We'll use the gun. We'll just send them on with the gun. Make sure they're nice and straight. Bam. 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 I'm gonna check them by hand. I'm gonna spray some lubricant up on here just to kind of help things out a little bit. So we got our pulley. We're going to rest it right on here. And then I have our installation half of things. So we are going to thread in this center bolt inside of the pulley until it's tight. Once that's tight, we are going to run down this nut right here all the way down to, oh, actually, we're already touching the pulley. Now, I just have to hold the side that's going into the pump with a wrench. And I'm actually going to do this all by hand and hold this side with a wrench. And I'm going to just tighten this very slowly and watch it go down. I'm going to hold up here with the 9/16. We got an 11/16 down there. We are just going to slowly tighten this on by hand. And I'm just going to kind of watch it. Because like I said, this is my first time doing it as well. So I believe we would just go until it doesn't want to go anymore. Yeah, it kind of seems like the sensible thing to do. But I don't know if you can also go too far or not. So something I'm definitely going to look at, and we are just going to take our time. All right, I think we are. That's good. We are there. We're at the bottom. Now I can loosen, if I can get my wrench on there, this nut up. I'm going to take this off of the center of the pump, and things are looking great. That's perfect. Looks just like how it was when we took it off. Now we are going to just remove this cap in the rear down here, probably a 5/8 I'd figure. Wow, they don't want me to win today. 9/16. Wonderful. That way our threaded line can go into the back of the pump. We're going to get this installed on the car. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is re-tighten down this 9/16 bolt that goes to the exhaust manifold, because we learned that that didn't even need to get touched. And doing this one-handed is a little tricky sometimes. All right, that's good. Perfect. So we got to thread in our power steering line. It goes right over this hose, so that way we can plug in the hose down below. It'll give us plenty of room to work this pump in place. So now that it's threaded in by hand, I'm going to grab my wrench and get that tightened up. All right, there's perfect. Now I have a lot of space to run my hose, and we can actually set this, because there's a little stud sticking out of the back, and we got the stud on the engine. We can actually just rest this in place, and now I can work my hose on. So we've gotten our 2 lines back on to the back of the pump. I did run this nut back here, and I started this nut right here. we have one more bolt that actually needs to get ran right in the front there. It's going to go right there. It's this one that we took out a little earlier. So I'm going to get that started. And once all of our bolts are started, we're going to get the belt onto the pulley. And after that, we're going to hold it in place and get it tight. So I've just ran our belt onto the pulley. It goes onto this back side. We've just tightened up our bolt. We've gotten the nut started. So we're going to leave this loose until we get to the pulley where we want it. So with this, you can see as I pull it, if I pull it tight, we can tighten it. But just for a little extra oomph, James is going to hold that bar in between this pulley and the crankshaft pulley just to get it real tight so I can tighten it up, because if not, it squeaks. So again, I need 2 hands for that, but all I'm going to do is tighten up those 3 bolts I just showed you. And then we're going to take this little red cap off, fill it with fluid, put the cap on, and we will be all done. All right, we are all tightened up. This cap can come out. I might need a screwdriver to pry this out. Oh, I think we got it. Slowly but surely, it's coming out. All right, we've gotten our cap off. Now, we're gonna just take our old cap, get this put on there. That cap went flying. Put our fluid in and drop this cap on. Getting our fluid poured in there. Wonder if it's gonna take it all. It may or may not. You don't need a, yeah, I mean, you need enough, but it doesn't take much. It's like 1 quart usually, probably, is all we're going to need after changing out the pump. Yep. Fold right to the top, throw our cap on and start this up. Just goes on and twists. Probably gonna overflow a little. Perfect. Look at that. That is how to change your power steering pump in your Monte Carlo or on, I would imagine, any older small block Chevy. Perfect. No squeaking, nothing. Turn the wheel. Beautiful. We love to see it. Oh, there you go, guys. Time to change your power steering pump. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out today's video on how to change a power steering pump on a small block Chevy. If you want to see some more content on the channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and peace out.